So you're looking for answers on the new 9RX high horsepower series from John Deere. Well, you've come to the right place. My name is Matt Jr. and I'm with Prairie State Tractor, and today we're going to jump into some of the most frequently asked questions, or FAQs, regarding this new high horsepower series. So let's get into it. The first question we get is what horsepowers are available? John Deere has a 9RX 710, 9RX 770, and 9RX 830 base horsepower units, each one of those capable of a 10% power bulge. So your 9RX 710 will stretch to 781 max horsepower, your 9RX 770 will stretch to 847 max horsepower, and the 9RX 830 can achieve a 913 max engine horsepower feature. That is absolutely insane. We do this with our new proprietary JD18 engine, an 18-liter true displacement engine with twin turbochargers, fixed geometry, optional reversible cooling fan, and just absolutely from the ground up designed to put horsepower to the ground. The second biggest questions we get regarding this new series of tractor is the emission side of things. Why does this tractor require no DEF? What is DEF? How do we get around all this? Let's address it. Starting off, DEF or DEF is diesel exhaust fluid. That is a liquid urea-based compound that we inject into the emissions to reduce NOx levels, NO small x, or nitrous oxide. NOx is a pollutant gas, and we're trying to convert that into nitrogen and water vapor. To do that, we've traditionally had an exhaust gas recirculation valve, or EGR, funneling downstream to a DPF, or diesel particulate filter, and then ultimately into an SCR, or selective catalytic reduction filter, where we're injecting DEF to create that NOx-less gas. With our new 18-liter engine and the current EPA standards, with the achieved horsepower of over the 750 horsepower threshold. Now remember, our 710 reaches that by getting to 781 power bulge horsepower. We're able to have a lesser requirements as a whole on our engines, and we can therefore achieve the tier of emissions required, Tier 4 emissions today in the United States standards, with just exhaust gas recirculation only. So all these engines, the 710, the 770, and the 830, will all only be equipped with an exhaust gas recirculation valve. We meet the EPA standards, we achieve the horsepowers we're looking for, everything flows perfectly. The only thing you see on the side of the engine on this tractor is a large muffler. The reason we put that there is because you guys have gotten so accustomed to these quiet cabs and how nice it is and comfortable it is in these tractors that is truly just a large muffler. It is literally to reduce the engine noise coming out of the tractor. It's like putting a muffler on a chrome stacked straight pipe 4440 back in the day. It's the same concept. Another common question, weights and track systems on these tractors. How much heavier is this than our current 9RX 640? What does the weight difference look like, and how are track options different than what we're currently accustomed to? So I can tell you that we can currently ballast a 9RX 640 all the way to 67,000 pounds. Base weight's 57,000 pounds. Our 9RX high horsepower series on the 710, 770, and 830, we start with a base weight of 740, and through a use of front and rear weights, we can ballast them all the way up to 84,000 pounds. Now our track assemblies to put that said weight and power to the ground differ a little bit than what we're used to. On the new high horsepower 9RX series, we only have two track spacings available, 88 inches or close inset, and 120 inches or wide stanced, you'll call it, track systems. You can only do 30-inch wide belts narrow, and if you look at the contour of that new hood for that new engine, you'll see why 36 inches won't work close up to the hood like that. But when you space out on 120-inch track spacing, we can do both our 30-inch wide belts and our 36-inch wide belts. So another FAQ we commonly get is, will there be a wheeled option version of this tractor with the high horsepower settings here? Deere currently has no plans to put anything like this on wheels and tires. The biggest reason I can think of is because when it comes to putting large amounts of horsepower to the ground, tracks are the most efficient way to get that power to the ground. It takes a lot of wheel slip out of the equation, slippage as a whole from front to back, from power to the ground. We eliminate a lot of that in track systems versus wheels and tires. One of the other questions we're seeing is the fuel tank design. Why is it where it's at? Why did they change that? What's the concept behind that? So we now have a natural walk around almost your entire width of your cab, except for where the hood space is, to clean windows, work on things, whatever it may be. We have a natural catwalk we've built into our 515-gallon fuel tank on this tractor, just for open space that's not used. So put the fuel where it's supposed to be. It's centralized on a central location for ballasting. where we have all that liquid weight when we're full. We've also designed it so we can fill everything from the ground. You can take your fill gun from the ground and stick it in the fill neck and fill from the ground instead of having to climb up the side of the cab onto the platform and fill it from up high. That's a safety concern, and we take that out of the equation the way it is. Deere's also done a really good job to design our new fast fill system, which we have on our X9 combines, right into the side, so your FS guys, your petroleum guys with their big refined fuel trucks can come in and fast fill with their big pumps, 515 gallons in as quick as 4 minutes to get you going really, really fast in the morning. So that's another nice built-in feature to the new design of these fuel tanks. And you know, that creates a lot of openness on the back of our tractor. That's also been a question, is what's with the rear design of this tractor? Why is it so wide open? Why is it so visible on the back? Well, I can think of a handful of great reasons for that design. Number one, we're able to achieve our ballasting split, our differentiation of 40 to 60 weight split on this tractor by having everything weight-wise more centralized in the middle of the tractor. So we can just ballast up the rear a little bit with some blocks and achieve what we're looking for to put rear track power to the ground. It's nice and wide open, which I really love for the service side of things. We can work on things easier. You can see things more clearly from the cab when you're working in the field. And also fire hazards and cleanliness. It's easier to get in there and clean the tractor, and we don't have a place where chaff can collect and sit behind shielding and stuff like that. We allow more airflow back and forth, side to side, and allows chaff and stalks and dirt to stay out of there a lot more freely. And it's just cleaner and easier that way. So addressing pricing and availability. So we actually now have the availability to price and order these tractors from John Deere. Now they'll start production in November as 2025 model years. That's when John Deere's model year turnover is. So coming sooner than you think. Pricing, I can tell you, will range real money from about $900,000 to $1.1 million. But a lot of that depends on what you're speccing, content-wise. There's a lot of things that come into that situation. So my recommendation is getting with your local John Deere sales representative to discuss what that looks like, and they can price it accordingly. Finally, one of the last questions we've heard is, why do we need a tractor this big? What is this going to accomplish for us in agriculture? And the biggest thing I can think of is being able to do more with less, with increasing shortages in labor and productivity time windows in the field. Imagine the farmer that can take two smaller machines and do the same productivity with this one big giant machine. That's what that's stemmed around. That's what this is designed to do, is to increase productivity with less and being prepared for the next step in autonomy. All these tractors are coming autonomy prepped, that next horizon that we're very close at cracking. This solves a lot of that stuff. So that's the main reason we can see a tractor like this coming to market. So we've addressed a lot in this video, stemming from engine specs, depth requirements, features and options, product availability. If there's anything else you guys are looking for, ask us in the comments and we can see what we can do to answer them. Make sure to like and subscribe to this video while you're at it. My name is Matt Ashman Jr. with Prairie State Tractor, signing off. Oh, was I? I was thinking you were just gonna clean it up with the white closing